In the quiet folds of Shropshire countryside, where oak trees lean towards ruined stone, lies a village that once held the ear of a king and the whispers of a nation's future. This is the story of Acton, Burnell, the oak farm that birthed a law, a legend, and a legacy that still murmurs through the centuries. Long before castles or parliaments, this was simply land, ancient, wooded, and fertile. Romans once passed nearby along their military road. Their sandals kicked dust where sheep now graze. The Saxons called it Acton, the oak farm. Centuries later, the name would grow, Burnell, from the family who made this quiet place the century of ambition. In the 12th century, the Burnells were minor gentry, modest landholders, local and loyal, but among them was a boy whose eyes were already on the wider world. Robert Burnell, scholar, lawyer, and in time, confidant to Prince Edward, son of Henry III, heir to a troubled throne. When Edward became King Edward I, it was Burnell who stood beside him, a man of both intellect and iron, Bishop of Bath and Wells, Chancellor of England, the king's mind, clothed in a bishop's robe. Yet Robert never forgot his roots. To the oak farm of his birth he returned, bearing titles and dreams of preeminence. Here at Acton Burnell, he would build a home worthy of his station, and a monument to power that wore the guise of piety. It was autumn of 1283. King Edward rode to Shropshire after subduing rebellion in Wales. The air hung thick with victory and dust, and here, on Burnell's land, the king convened a parliament. Not in London, not in Westminster, but in this quiet corner of England. Imagine it. The Parliament barn, filled with lords, bishops, and, for one of the first times, representative of the Commons. The hall glows with candlelight. The king's voice cuts through murmurs. A law is born. The Statute of Acton Burnell, granting merchants the right to recover debt with the Crown's support. It is perhaps the first Parliament of England where the voice of common people, faint, cautious, is truly heard. And it happens here, in a barn beside the oak trees, in Acton Burnell. Flush with favour and royal licence, Burnell transforms his manor into a fortress of grace and strength. In 1284, he is granted leave to crenellate to fortify, and from the red sandstone of Shropshire rises a house unlike any other, Acton Burnell Castle. Not a castle of war, but of display. Tall corner towers, arched windows, traces of luxury with discipline. It is the bishop's castle, sacred and secular in one breath. Here he entertains, governs, and dreams of legacy, but even the mightiest plans must bow to time. In 1292, Robert Burnell dies, the stones still warm from the mason's hands. The years that follow bring decline. The Burnells fade, the castle grows cold. By 1420, the grand residence stands empty, windows gaping, banners gone. Ownership passes like a shadow to the Lovells, to the Norfolks, to the Crown. And through it all, the oak trees watch, unchanging. In the 17th and 18th centuries bring gentler fortunes. Through marriage, the estate passes to the Smith family, patrons of taste, not war. They build a new hall nearby, graceful and Georgian, while the old castle becomes a romantic ruin, a curiosity for poets and painters, Visitors stroll through landscaped gardens. Children play in the shadows of the towers that once echoed with kings. The ruin becomes art, its silence a kind of beauty. Today, Acton Burnell is peaceful again, a village of stone cottages, hedgerows, and history whispers through the grass. The ruin of the castle stands roofless but proud, protected by English heritage. Nearby, the Parliament barn's gables still hint at the extraordinary autumn when a king listened to merchants. Visitors wander between stone and story. Few realize that here, centuries ago, the first breath of parliamentary voice stirred beneath an oak sky. From ambition to ruin, from parchment to parliament, Acton Burnell endures. Its stones remember the rise of a man, the shaping of a nation, and the quiet power of place. So next time you pass through Shropshire, pause beneath the oaks, listen. You might still hear the murmur of 1283, when England's future was whispered in a barn at Acton Burnell.